So I don't know, I think it's a Murphy's Law that during the winter time, your furnace has to go bad around this time when you need it most. Well, I guess it's the same thing with your AC, your central AC. It seems to me like most central AC would act out in the middle of the summer. So I don't know. Yeah, like I said, it's Murphy's Law. So in this case here in the furnace, just clean out good your sensor rod, and then you should be fine. Okay, let's do it. Right. So I'm having a problem with this furnace. It's an old furnace, but it never gave me any problem at all, except that sometimes the igniter would go bad and then it wouldn't run, and I had to replace the igniter on this one like at least 3 times already. At first I called a technician, and then they charged me like $100 something just to come out and then replace the parts. So overall it runs almost $200 to have the igniter replaced. So I learned a lesson. I thought, okay, I can replace that myself. And then from that day on, every time the igniter would go bad, I replace it by myself, and the igniter would only cost like $45 a piece. But this time I'm having a problem with this because it runs for about a minute or so and then it dies on me. So it's not the igniter. Otherwise, if the igniter was the problem, it's not going to run at all. But this thing, turn it on, bring the temperature up, and then it fires up. And then it runs for about a minute and a half, and then boom, it dies. And then it tries to do that. It recycles again in another 5-6 minutes. The same thing happens. It fires up, a minute or so, boom, it'll die on me. So I researched, and a lot of people are saying, well, the possibility is the heat sensor, which can be found right there at the burner. So we'll find it out where the sensor is, because I haven't replaced any heat sensor for a furnace. So let me see what's going on in here. I'm gonna have to take off the cover, this cover. You don't have to take that off. And then the cover down below. Right there. Okay. So now, what they are saying is that the heat sensor is supposedly a rod close to the burner, and there's the burners right there. How many of those? Like 3 burners. And I believe this part right here, I don't know if you can see that. Let me get a screwdriver, a long screwdriver, so I can see it. Okay. I believe that rod right there that's sticking out, right there, I believe that is the heat sensor, because the heat sensor is supposedly facing towards the burner to, of course, to sense the heat. And this wire right here is connected to the heat sensor, and it's being screwed, bolted to Where is it? Yeah, right there, that side. That side right there. Okay. So I guess what I need to do is unplug the connector from this circuit to the heat sensor. Let me see if I can just pull that out with my finger. It's kind of hard to see, but because my finger is right there in front of it. Okay, there it is. I took it off. Okay. So now there is one screw that is holding the sensor. That screw right there. It's really kind of tricky, but maybe I can just, kind of hard to be holding one hand with the camera and the other hand trying to undo the screw. There it is. So there is the screw. There, the screw is out. I haven't done this before, so it's not a guarantee that this thing will fix the problem, but a lot of people in the furnace forum is saying that this is just one of the possibilities, so I'm crossing my fingers that this is one of them. Let's see. Kind of tricky. There it is. So here is the heat sensor, and the problem supposedly on this thing is that the rod will be filled with carbon, and then that carbon supposedly would prevent the sensor from staying on and trying to tell the burner that, hey, I need some heat. And if there is carbon in there, it's not going to connect to the sensor. Okay, so cleaning this thing with the steel wall is supposed to take off the carbon. And by the way, don't use sandpaper on this one because this thing is also sensitive. So just, a steel wool like this, a small piece, would take care of the problem. So clean that off real good. Make sure all the carbon is gone. I mean, it doesn't have to be shiny. Your goal is to just take out all the carbon that's on this sensor, and supposedly it would cure the problem. Well, I'm hoping. Let me see if I can clean the outside also. Okay. That looks pretty good. And then of course you want to clean the contact, just in case there's some dirt and debris in there that's preventing the contact from connecting to the sensor. Okay, so I think I'm ready to put this back in. Put that back in the hole. There you go. Okay. So there you go. So it went in the hole. And then all I have to do is put the screw back in. There. You have to have a really long screwdriver, Well, in my case, yeah, I do have to have a long screwdriver. Maybe in your case, you probably don't need a long screwdriver. Okay, it's in, and the angle of the rod is in the right position, because I remembered that before I took it off. Tighten this booger right there. Okay, and then let's put the connector back in. Where is my connector back in there? Right there. Okay, so the connector is in. And now I need to put my my cover back in. Oh, by the way, before you do this, turn off the main switch right there at the electrical box. Turn it off. Don't turn it off on your thermostat, because that wouldn't help at all. You've got to turn it off in your electrical box. Find out where the switch is for your furnace and turn it off right there. Okay, now it's in. Let's see, so I have to go back in there and turn the power on. Okay. So here's a moment of truth right here. So there's my power. Did you put the temperature at 70, honey? Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'll make sure I'll do it again.
There. See. Oh, there it is. It's running. It is running. We'll see if this thing could sustain. It'll take some time before the igniter would work. But, okay, now I can see the igniter now. It's glowing. And then after that, you'll feed some gas. And then boom, you'll fire up. You'll see here in a minute. Going there, I can do the switch. Bam. Okay. So there is your flame coming out. Now, you will only run for about a minute and a half, and then you'll die. So we'll see if this one can sustain more than that. I mean, if it goes more than that, then I know it's working. We'll see. Well, it's more than 5 minutes now since it first ran. So I think we're back in business. I think we're good to go. There you are. So it was just the heat sensor that's the problem. There's a lot of carbon on it. And all you need to do, like I said, is just scrape the carbon with, you know, a steel wall or something like that. Don't use sandpaper. It's not good for it. Okay? Back in business. Bye.